Board. So what I wanted to talk to you guys today about, and because it's the beginning of the year, and I know we've had a lot going on, and you know, beginning of the year, everybody talks about goals and setting resolutions and all that jazz. And I don't know why I really felt like this burning need to talk about this today, because I'm typically not like a resolution type of person. But I've been reading just a lot of personal development on it. Listening to the Compound Effect, like for our group, but also Think and Grow Rich, which I've never read before and always kind of blew it off like, oh, that's a cheesy old book, but oh my God, it's so amazing. So, and also because, you guys have been so amazing. And I'm so thankful to have you on the team. And I just want to be here for you as much as I possibly can and help you guys set goals for yourself as I'm setting goals for myself and trying to improve myself so that we can all reach them and take advantage of everything that the business has to offer, because it's really, really awesome. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. So let's talk about some quick announcements. I'm sorry if my screen's blacking in and out. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. So real quick, the announcements. We know that tomorrow, I know I've talked about this to you guys also. We've been talking about the 3-day sneak peek. This is, I've done 3-day sneak peeks before with Liz, who's my upline, but this is the first that I've actually run by myself. So it may not be perfect. I don't even know if we have anybody in it, but that's okay. This is the kind of thing where I was listening to call, if anybody listened to the call by Melanie Mitro, she's the top coach in the company, and everything she talks about is you show up no matter what. She would do coaching calls at the beginning, or her team calls rather. If nobody showed up, she did it anyway. She would do live coaching calls. If nobody showed up, she did it anyway. It gave her practice and it perfected her, because everybody messes up at this stuff. The concept of fail forward, that's what this is. You're going to mess up. It's okay. If nobody comes to this, I don't care. This is like, if you can think of it as a practice run. But if we go ahead, like I said in our messages, if we go ahead and make the videos, guys, these are reusable. It's not something that you have to do new every single time. We do it once and then we've got it in place for I want to do every month a 3-day sneak peek, and then also a live coaching call, which I can host, so that we always have something to invite prospects to. And I would love for them all to be able to see our own faces. It really, we're a team, so I don't want all the videos to be just me. I do have a couple videos made that I will post up in there. I'm going to tonight, I didn't get to do it before the call, like I said, but after the call, I'm going to make a schedule of when I'm going to post what. And Chris, I'm still trying to figure out how to get it posted without going through YouTube. So I will figure that out before tomorrow, because I am not, you're the techie guy. Come on, you figure it out. No. So let's go ahead and do it. And then if it's not perfect, who cares, right? I am a recovering perfectionist, but that's okay. We're going to do it anyway. And if it's not perfect, we're going to learn from it and we'll do it better next month. So that's that. So I will start by making a live video tomorrow morning, just kind of introducing everybody and talking about, what the group is about. And I can post one of my videos first. I think Liz might share one of her videos onto it also. So we will have plenty. Even if it's only 2 videos a day, that's fine. You don't want to inundate people anyway. They get annoyed by that. Nobody's, hooked on Facebook like we are sometimes. So then the second coaching event is going to be on the 23rd, which is, I think, is that Monday night. I'll host a live coaching call. So if you guys have anybody that you're talking to, any of your current challengers are perfect, because those are the ones that make the best coaches, guys. So any of your current challengers that you want to invite, if they want to learn about the business, I'll host that call at 9 on the 23rd. I don't know if you guys know about this, because I don't know if you were coaching when the last Team Cup was, but Team Cup is sort of a inter-coach competition. And it's a way to spur just fun competition, so that the more they give prizes away for Success Club point earns for a team. So I would love to put a team together. It's 5 coaches per team. And it starts February 1st. Registration open today. So if you guys want, we could form a team and we can get one other. I'm going to try to see if we can get another one of our coaches that's sort of just dabbling in the business to see if she can round out a team of 5. But then what I'll do is make a separate little private Facebook page where we can all communicate, or we can just do it on the regular team page about the Team Cup. You know, they post little snippets of encouragement and motivation. It's just a great way. They've researched this, and people who participate in things like this make a ton more money in the business, like 23 times more, something ridiculous, than people who don't participate in stuff like this. So it's fun. I mean, it's not like super competitive. It doesn't make you be 100% accountable, but it's definitely an extra added incentive. And then the annual all access Beachbody On Demand Challenge Pack. We all know about that, unless we've been living under a rock. So the cool part about this, guys, is to take advantage of it, that we're getting 3 Success Club points. And I hope, I'm not sure if you guys, I hope you did listen to the national wake up call that Carl did. And he basically said that at this price, $199 for the challenge pack, and giving us 3 Success Club points, they're basically taking it in the shorts. Like, they're not losing money on this deal. If not, I know they're not making any money. They might even be losing money with this 2-month promotion for this challenge pack being at $199 and giving coaches 3 Success Club points. It actually costs them money to give us more Success Club points, because they have, Success Club prizes and the Success Club trip, and they match points a lot of times for certain coaches. So it costs them money. So they're really, really pushing this, and for good reason. It's amazing. We want people to make a lifestyle out of this, and that takes more than 21 days, more than 30 days, 60, even 90 days. So it's a lifestyle, right? So this finally makes so much sense. It's still a good idea to talk to our customers about, we know the product catalog, we know what programs we have and what would fit them best. So you still want to guide them and be their be their guide as where to start, and then where to progress, and what program should be next and next after that. But the fact that you don't have to resell anything to them to keep them as a customer is amazing. Like, they've already got the subscription, so they don't have to make an additional purchase. And also their thinking is, and probably accurately, that it'll reduce the attrition with Shakeology orders. Before, what was happening is you would get you order a challenge pack and you get your 30 days of Shakeology, and you get your 30-day free BOD trial. Then what was happening is at day 30, you were getting charged for your first quarter, your first 90 days, your $38 or $39 charge for the BOD at membership. And then your first Shakeology charge, you're getting double charged at once. And people were like, ugh, and dropping Shakeology. So they're hoping that this will eliminate that BOD charge, and that they're only getting one additional charge, which, of the Shakeology, which we should always preemptively tell them about, so it's not a surprise. But they're hoping that this will eliminate that whole situation. And in addition to the plain old fact that it just helps people, this is their life, this is their lifestyle, this is their fitness go-to, and it makes sense. And it's easier for us because we don't have to resell stuff. So it's awesome. Okay, next Super Saturday, guys, is April 8th. Let's totally try to go. I missed the last one because of an unforeseen family. Not unforeseen. I had a baby shower that I absolutely could not miss. I know for a fact April 8th is going to be really hard for me because my husband and my son are away at a baseball tournament somewhere. So I'm going to have to find a sitter for my daughter and all that, but that's fine. I'm going to do it because, these are just you have to make every effort. Please make every effort to try to get to one of these live events, guys. They make such a difference. Plus, we can see each other, be together. I would really love for us to try to gather together. Chris, I know that's obviously hard for you, but we would FaceTime you or whatever, even though it would probably be 2 a.m. for you, so you could be there in spirit. But I would love for us all to go. We can even get little team t-shirts made. But that's something I really, really want to do, especially as our team grows, to have a cohesive team. I'm so excited about that. Another thing, I don't know if you guys know about this, but Success Club trip. Every year, there's a Success Club trip for people who earn the highest earning Success Club point earners. This year, in 2017, for those who earned it in 2016, it's in Dominican Republic. And in 2018, for the 2017, they go in March or April of the following year. So for 2017, they'll take it in the Triple B in March or April of 2018, and it's going to Riviera Maya, Mexico. So keep that in mind as a goal for yourself. I mean, that's pretty awesome. You know, Liz Templeton, my upline, won it this year. So I was so proud of her. She had it on her goal board and she hit it. So that's just so awesome. So it's just Success Club points. It has nothing to do with anything else, just Success Club points. So that's awesome. Okay. Here's the January calendar. I know we're already halfway through it, but just as a reminder, this, you know, the sneak peek is starting tomorrow, and then that Cut the Crap free group. I don't know if you guys are in it. I did send you the invitations for it. I had added a couple people to it. I'm not running it, but it's by Katie Rollins and Danny Pants, who are part of the TNT Dynasty, are doing it. And they are, Katie, I don't know if you've been on any team calls with her or whatever, but or seen her post, but she is freaking hilarious. She is like as sarcastic and funny as they come. So her groups are always so lively and funny. So I'm really excited. That's the name, Cut the Crap. I mean, I'm sure she probably came up with that. But so if you have anybody to add to that, go right ahead. Free groups. I haven't been as good about this in the past, but I'm going to absolutely be consistent with this, is running a free group every month. One free group, one and one challenge group. So I'll talk about that in the next slide, because right now, so then on the 23rd, we have the live coaching call, like I mentioned. The 26th is another team call, and I don't know if Chris, if you still want to host that one, you can. If not, that's fine too. So you can just let me know, like, as we get closer. And then, you know, based on the goal of this is based on the sneak peek and based on this live coaching call every month, you know, in the week or so following that, I'm going to start a Coach Basics. Okay. So this is the sort of rhythm that we get into as far as recruiting challengers and then inviting those challengers to these coaching events, and then, you know, signing them up and starting their training. So it all gets into a rhythm and a sequence that becomes very systematic, and we stick to it every month. So if we jump forward to the February calendar, sorry, this is pretty small, guys. I thought it was bigger. Hope it's not hard to read. Starting on the 6th of February, we're going to start Coach Basics and start our next challenge group. I'll call it the Fit and Fab February challenge group or whatever. That's up for negotiation. But I'll start the preseason of those the week before. And then we'll do our team calls on the 9th and the 23rd on those every other Thursday. And again, you'll see here the 3-day coaching sneak peek between the 7th and the 9th. And then the next Tuesday, a live What is Coaching call. And then up here, you'll see the free group. So I figured maybe like a plank challenge, 7-day plank challenge, you know, like 1 minute on Monday, a minute twice on Tuesday, 2 straight minutes on Wednesday, something, you know, we can kind of progress it day by day. And then starting, you know, here, March 1st, we would start preseason for our next, you know, fitness and nutrition challenge group, as well as Coach Basics. And then the next Monday, start those challenge groups again, just like we did the first week here. So I really want to try to keep this rhythm going. I think it works well. And it allows you to always have something to invite to. I know in months past, I've always been stuck like, well, I just started a challenge group and my next one's not for 4 weeks. What do I do? You know, and I would just try to spend that time building relationships with people, but you always want to have something to invite to in case somebody's ready. So this gives you a chance to always have something to invite to. Okay. So does that sound like a pretty good plan, that we can just kind of keep that same rhythm going month after month after month? Okay. So enough of that. All right, let's talk about goals, guys. I have stunk at this I don't want to say my entire life. I mean, I've done pretty well, but had no idea about how to do this, about what goal setting was. Yeah, I can think big, but I have never written anything down or put deadlines to anything, or I'm just like, oh, wouldn't that be cool if we did this? But I never thought that anything like that could ever happen for me, because I'm, like I posted in our challenge group today, things that were big like that, like somebody who's super successful or super fit, I always thought like it took big actions to get there. And it really doesn't. It takes daily little small actions. So what this says, this quote I found, a dream is just a dream. A goal is a dream with a plan and a deadline. So this is where we come into really figuring out a system of how to make your dreams into hard and fact goals and how to actually reach them. It's really not as hard as we might think. I'm sort of learning that, and it is a process of learning and figuring out how to actually do that. So is my screen blacking out to you guys?
No.
It's not. Okay, because it's going like in and out and in and out and in and out for me. That's fine. I can still sort of see it.
So
go ahead,
can I add something, Carrie?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when it comes to goal setting, I guess in the military it's pretty
That's standard
now that we have these new members show up and we have to fill out what's called an individual development plan. It's all goal setting. So they set short term for career, short term for education, short term for finance, and then they go long term. Like where do they want to be long term? Like 5, 10. Somehow I just got disconnected.
Yeah, I just lost you. You're back.
Okay, so the short term goals are within the year, and then their long term goals are 5 to 10 years out.
Yeah.
And we require these members to fill these things out. And then every 6 months we go back to them and say, okay, where are you at on your goal?
Yeah.
So I think for us as coaches, we need to kind of set that up ourselves, like you're saying. And I know you're going to get into it, but I don't want to get too far into it. So I'm sure you're going to get into it. But
well, I mean, there's so much written on there, and there's so much out there on this. Oh my gosh. So yeah, you keep yourself unmuted, and anything you want to say, because you have a lot more experience with this than probably I do. I mean, I've always been one, for instance, like not last November, but the November before, I remember I was in Texas and I had listened to Darren Hardy, who is the author of The Compound Effect. I had listened to a webinar of his, and in that webinar, he gave us a link to a free copy of his first book, which is called Living Your Best Year Ever. And it was on audio, and I listened to that entire book, and I did all of the action steps that it said, and a lot of it was goal writing, right? But what I did was I did it on a Word document in my computer. And I spent so much time on this, and I loved it. It was great. And I was like all pumped up. Guess what I did? I never freaking opened that Word document again, right? So I thought that writing it down once and then saving it in my computer was enough. And it's not, okay? Even though I went through all the processes, I did it all, but then it was all in there and I never looked at it again, So it's something that you have to, be specific. It has to be extremely specific. So a dream written down with a date is a goal. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said something. So a dream written down with a date is a goal. A goal broken down to steps becomes a plan, and a plan backed by action is the only way to do it. I know in this business, guys, and I'm guilty of this too, my actions do not always match my goals. So, we have all these big goals for ourselves, but really it takes the action-oriented stuff to actually get you there. And they're not huge. They can be a little, time consuming, but they're really mundane, repetitive steps. It's not like you're, going out and running a marathon every day. That's something that's really taxing on you. They're not hard things to do. It just is doing them repetitively over time and being consistent with them. Okay. And that's the action plan. So I'm listening to Napoleon Hill's book, which is Think and Grow Rich, like the first ever personal development book ever. And the first chapter outlines 6 steps to achieving any goal or amount of money. And this was written in 1908, this book. But this is the step, these 6 steps are what they say you absolutely have to do. And then they make and do editors comments that are like, oh, you might think that you don't need to do this, like this is foo-foo stuff, and or I can just intellectually understand the concept but not actually do it, and that's enough. But it's actually not enough. And there's a psychological reason for this, because they all talk about, you know, the conscious mind, which is where all our executive functions take place, but then also your subconscious mind, which no matter what you do is going to control everything. And this is and I've kind of learned this about myself, that this is my problem. I've always thought, you know, making a lot of money, my parents did okay, but they did well, but they worked so incredibly hard for their money and they were stressed out a lot of the time. So that to me is sort of the way I just thought the world works, right? So I'm like, I can make more, but I got to work more to make more. And that doesn't have to be that way. So to fix what I love about this is to fix in your mind exactly what it is you want, whether it's a specific goal or if it's a certain amount of money. And then, you know, the second step, determine what you're going to give, because we all know you can't get something for nothing, right? So you have to give something, whether for me, it's, you know, I'm going to get up an hour and a half earlier every day and I'm going to give however many hours of my time every day to this. You have to be willing to give something in order to get what you want. So again, we have to match our effort level with our goals so that it eliminates all frustration and that we stay realistic. And then determine the exact date, right? And obviously it has to be a physical date. It can't just be, oh, like in a year. You actually need, okay, by February 15th, I'm going to do this. By March 3rd, I'm going to do this. So you have to have an absolute definite date. Okay. And then you create your plan and you literally start it whether you think you're ready to or not. So because that fear of starting and thinking, oh my gosh, all my ducks aren't in a row, I haven't cleared the rest of my schedule in order to be able to do this. Even if you don't start perfectly and you don't finish your entire plan the way you intended, that's okay. Start anyway, even if you feel like you're not ready. And then this is the funny part. So write a concise statement that states all this stuff, what your goal is, what the date you want to accomplish it by, what you're going to give to get it, and the exact plan that you're going to do. And guys, this plan is our power hour, right? That's what the plan is. Beachbody's already done this for you, is our power hour. And the vital behaviors. So, and you write that down. And then the goofy part is reading it aloud to yourself 2 times a day. Whether or not you feel ridiculous, because I would feel ridiculous, but read it aloud 2 times every day, visualizing that you've already achieved it. And again, the reason they say this is the psychological impact, which we don't really understand, but you know, modern science does understand it. So I guess we should trust them. But that there's so there's a certain reason for that. So another thing to realize is that when you're writing a goal, you want to make sure that it's SMART. And this is the acronym for SMART. You want to make sure it's specific. So you don't want to just say, I want to make a lot of money, right? That's not specific enough. That's not going to make any sense to you or your brain, your conscious or your subconscious brain. So make it absolutely specific, make it measurable. So say, for instance, you want to, you know, hit Success Club 5 every month. Okay, that's specific and that's measurable. That's why our company has Success Club points, is so that any goal you have for it, they even set the goal for you, right? Being in Success Club is a goal. And the fact that they have Success Club 5, that's your measurement. That's your barometer for how well you're able to, how quickly you're going to grow your business. The more Success Club points you have, the more quickly you're going to grow your business, plain and simple. There's no other way to cut it. So again, they've done all that hard work for you. And you want to make sure the A stands for attainable. You want to be realistic in your goals. But another thing that I've been reading, and Darren Hardy in his books will say the BHAGs, I think he calls them, big, hairy, audacious goals that are so scary and so big that you think they're absolutely nuts. But one of the biggest mistakes people make is not setting goals high enough for themselves. If you set a goal that is mediocre, you're probably going to come in under that goal. If you shoot for the stars and make it big, hairy, and audacious, you might still come under that goal, but you're going to be a hell of a lot higher, closer towards, further along. Let me put it that way. You're going to be a hell of a lot further along than you would have been had you set a mediocre goal. So make sure that you are stretching when you set a goal. It definitely should scare you. It definitely should make you uncomfortable. It definitely should make you sweat a little bit, but it should excite the hell out of you and give you butterflies in your stomach. So this attainable thing, I don't know how I really read that one, because in my brain, I'm like, okay, I should set a goal that I really don't think is attainable, but at the same time, it can be attainable if you strive for it and you really do the work to get there. So, and R relevant, obviously it needs to make sense, and T is time bound. Okay. So you got to have that date with it. So for instance, I kind of, if you don't want to do this, we don't have to. I would love for us to all kind of share what our goal is for the rest of January. If we can't unmute ourselves, that's fine. But I definitely want you to think in your brain what your goal is for the rest of January. And then, think to yourself why that goal is so important. This business can get hard. It can get tiring. It can be difficult to overcome rejection. You can get thrown off by hearing no all the time. If you have a why that is bigger and that just eats at your gut, those no's don't matter, because you're going to get a yes and it's going to make all those no's. Who cares about all those? So definitely make sure that you have a reason why you want to hit that goal. For me, I'll talk about this later, but my meeting will end in 10 minutes. Okay. We have 10 more minutes. Hold on, let me get out of this. Okay. You want to make sure that keeps you motivated. So for me, if I scroll down here, for me, my next goal, I'm kind of sharing you with what mine are, just so you have an idea. Oh my gosh, my screen is driving me crazy. I can barely see it. It's like blacking out all the time. Okay. Let's see. Did it switch? Okay. So for me, my goal is to hit Success Club 10 every single month. It's definitely SMART, right? Beachbody's like organized this whole system so that it's all SMART, right? It's specific, yes. Success Club 10, measurable, of course, attainable. I sure as hell hope so. Relevant, yes. And time bound, yes, by the end of the month. So, but why do I want to do it? Because I want to increase the amount of customers I have that'll be involved in the vital process to hopefully become coaches. And because I want to be able to, our team to hit Premier for 2017. And that means, I'll talk about that later, but that means that 2 of you will reach Diamond by the end of the year, which I think is totally doable, you guys. You can totally do that. And it's because I want to help more people with their health goals. I want to help 5 people per month. I've been a little bit slower than that, and I totally just love helping people because of the successes that they have. So, and of course, income, if that wasn't a part of this, of course it is. So I'd like to be able to make, by the end of February, about 400 a week. And if I make those amount of games, I should. So that's my goal. I can't even see my screen. So how would I break that down, right? So if I want to hit success, and then you have to reverse engineer these goals, because long-term goals, like Chris was saying, you have to reverse engineer them to make them shorter term so that you can then break it down into your action plan. So to hit Success Club 10, I've got to be able to hit Success Club 2 every single week, and 1 week hit Success Club 4, or else I might miss my goal. So what does that mean? That means, 1 to 2 people have to say yes every week, which means I have to invite at least 20 to 30 people every single week, right? That seems like a lot, but you have to bank on only like a 10% yes rate, right? Because not everybody's going to be ready for this. So 20 to 30 people is a lot, but if you break it down, that's only about 4 people a day, right? That's what we should be doing anyway. So that really isn't that hard to hit Success Club 10, guys. We can do this easily. So my goal is to invite 4 people at least, hopefully 5 every single day. And how am I going to do that, right? How am I actually going to find time to invite 4 people every day? Because it does take some time. I mean, we have scripts, but you want to make sure that you're, communicating with these people and not, throwing them for a loop and surprising them. You want to make sure you have relationships with them. So it does take some time. Inviting isn't just a super quick thing like you might just copy and paste. We try to make it more personal than that. So I actually am putting it in my calendars. This is something new for me. I would, have my to-do list, but I didn't have an actual calendar, like times blocked off to actually do this. And Melanie Mitro, again, is really good with this. She blocks off, she not only has her to-do list every day, but she has the times blocked off in her calendar to do all those. It's a little harder for those who are still working outside the home, but we're also aren't doing as much in our business as she is. So I'm putting it in my calendar actually when I am doing those invites every single day. And if I miss a day, that doesn't, get me off the hook. I got to double up the next day. So I spent a lot of time yesterday, for instance, going back to our spreadsheet that Chris made in Google Docs or in Google Drive. And like my goal is to have every single one of those cells filled every single week, right? Leave no cell unfilled, like leave no page unturned. So I don't know if I quite got there, but I got pretty close. So this week, my goal is to absolutely leave no cell unfilled. And if you can make sure you fill up that spreadsheet every week, guys, that is the backbone of your business and you'll do absolutely amazing. Chris put a lot of time into that. And I'm so thankful for you, Chris, for doing that. It's absolutely awesome. I did add columns to that, guys. One column for personal development and then a place to check off that you listen to the National Wake Up Call. So hopefully you guys all have the podcast on your phone. It's really easy. You can, instead of I found when I did the callback number, for the National Wake Up Call that you can't pause, that you have to like listen to it all at once. So I prefer the podcast because you can, sometimes I only have 5 minutes at a time. So I'll listen to 5 minutes, pause it, and then come back, start it again. So the podcast really works well. So again, this is, just kind of repetitive. It's developing a habit. You have to write your goals SMART and your actions have to be, oriented towards the goal, right? They have to be specific. They have to be targeted. They have to be focused. And checking those things off every day. If you have a written, I was actually working on this earlier today. I've tried a lot of different systems of a calendar. And like, for instance, I'll show you this. Like this used to be my calendar last year and I would write down all the groups that I was doing, like what days I was posting. I would try to do the topics I was posting about, but, and then it got a little harder. I'm trying to put it all in one place and I'm actually still kind of working on that. If I figure it out exactly, I'll share it with you, like my daily action items, plus what groups I have that I have to post to, plus planning out my social media posts for the day, to target them towards the groups that we're running, as far as, public invites on our page. So I'm still working on an actual calendar to be much more specific and much more targeted. Obviously I know exactly, the general action steps, but to make the content, I guess I should say, of those posts more specific. So I'm kind of still trying to figure out a system for that. But regardless, whatever it is, you got to make sure it's a habit and that it's every day. And checking it off is awesome. So if you like print it out and check it off, because then you like literally studies say when you do that, you get like a hit of dopamine. And it's such a positive, that physical check is like a positive reward that makes you want to keep doing it. So as ridiculous as that sounds, I think it's pretty cool. So that's it, guys. So like I said, having it in your head is just absolutely not enough. Let's write it down. For me, I want to share with you super, super quick, if I can find it. And I hit diamond a couple weeks ago. So I'm in this training now and we had to make a vision board. So let me show you guys my vision board that I made. I can't even see my screen, so I probably can't. Well, I'll post it in the team page because I can't even see my screen right now. I'll post it in the team page. But to share my vision board with you guys, because that is my visual for my goals. And then I have written action, and that's what we had to do, make a vision board and then make active action steps on how we're going to hit that vision board. So it was a really, really good act. Maybe that's why I wanted to talk to you about it here today. So that's it, guys. Oh, we're so much almost out of time. Who has questions or comments or what?
I'll get that spreadsheet up today.
Oh, okay. Sure. That's awesome. I love that. Absolutely love it. I think it's so it's like it's perma open on my computer. I never close it. So Kelly, Christina, you guys have any questions or comments or anything? Can
Um,
we go ahead?
no, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, do you guys feel comfortable sharing what your goals are and what your plans are if we do that in the team page in the comments section? Or do you want to keep it personal?
I'm fine with sharing.
Why don't we do that so we can all make sure we kind of keep each other, again, it's all that whole accountability thing, and you know, if you let others know about it, you're more likely to follow through. Why don't we, I'm just curious because I absolutely think that you guys can have huge goals for yourself. Like, I think you guys can hit diamond, no problem. It's not that hard. All that means is you have 8 coaches and 2 of whom are emerald. That's it. That's all that means. And you guys can
That's
easily
it.
do it. Yeah. Well, no, but you know what I mean? But those can be discount coaches too. They don't have to be actively
Right.
working. You know what I mean? They can be discount. So it's totally attainable. You guys keep doing what you're doing and it'll totally happen. But if anybody needs, like, of course, you guys always reach out to me. Okay. If you have any questions or need help with anything, I think we're about to get kicked off.
Okay.
So if that's it, you guys have a great night. Okay. And we'll chat. Let's share by, maybe by tomorrow, if we can share what our goals are.